Hello guys, my name is Drackle and I'm going to be teaching you how to make an automated sugarcane farm. Now you've probably seen a lot of different piston sugarcane farms in the past, but the best we've been able to do until recently was to make them semi-automatic, meaning they would only work when you pressed a button or some sort of manual input that you had to control. But now we can make a fully automated version. And here's a little clip of it in action. Alright, pretty cool. This was made possible by a recent invention by a guy named Etho. He invented what he calls the bud switch. It's a block update detector, and it was refined a little into a redstone version by a guy named FallofWar, and that's the version we're using. In a nutshell, what's happening is here we have a little piece of sugarcane planted, of course, next to water, or else it won't stick. And when this sugarcane grows, well, first of all, these three blocks, one block here, one block here, and one block here around this piston, are the blocks that are updated and trigger the sensor. And as you can see, I can do that very easily by updating this block by removing its torch. So when this sugarcane grows, it will grow to this height, and it will update this air block basically, which is next to this piston, which will trigger the sensor. It's really quite cool. So, and then we have the actual farm over here. It's actually not that difficult to build, and I'm going to take you step by step. So first thing we're going to do is build the farm. Alright, so to build this whole thing, you're going to need a little bit of redstone, quite a few repeaters. I have 22 total. I'm not sure if that's more or less, but you're going to need at least 20. You're going to need a whole bunch of pistons, regular pistons. You're going to need at least one sticky piston. And obviously sugarcane, tools, and that kind of stuff. So we're going to start by making the farm. And we're going to dig like this. We're going to dig 7 long, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to dig down. We're also going to dig that 7 long. And you can make this as big as you want, really. 6, 7. And you can make this as big as you want. I really don't see the purpose of doing more than this, because I don't need sugarcane that badly. Anyway, so now we're going to plant the dirt blocks. And the dirt blocks, obviously, because sugarcane will not grow on sand. And I already had some here, because I just covered this whole thing back up. Okay, and we want to do this. Okay, so now we have 2 trenches. They're each 7 long, and on the side of the trench we have dirt blocks. Okay, and here as well. And now we're going to fill it with water. We just need 1 bucket. Pour it here. It should go all the way down. Yep. And the reason we've done this on a split level is so the loot can move freely. If I did this on 1 level, then obviously the water would not be able to flow more than 8 blocks. And we want to create a loot collector for the... it's not really a loot collector. Let's call it a sugarcane collector that will flow to wherever we want it to flow. Personally, I want to make this flow into my house, which is, you can see that ladder over there. It's in that pit. If you don't want to do that, then I guess you don't really have to. But it's much easier just to do it this way, so there's only 1 collection point for loot, so you don't have to walk across and pick it up manually. Now, we're going to plant our sugarcane, and remember, sugarcane needs to be planted adjacent to water. So we're going to plant it here. Just like this. Okay. Now we have that settled. What we're going to do is set up our pistons. Now the pistons are necessary to knock the sugarcane off, basically. But you don't want it to knock the bottom layer off, because then you have to replant it, so. Obviously. And now we're going to put our pistons in. Probably easy to do that first, but we're going to do this way. Alright, and make sure you're facing away from where you want the pistons to push out, so they're going to push out this way. So we're going to be facing over here. And that's correct. These are normal pistons. You do not need sticky pistons for this. Okay. And alright, we have our piston set up. Now we're going to need, at one point, we're going to need to remove one of the pistons. And I'll show you why later. But I don't know where that's going to be until I connect everything. So we're just going to connect all of this. Now all we have to do is get our repeaters and our redstone. And we're going to put a repeater facing inwards towards every piston's block, basically. Just like this. And leave those set to 1. It really doesn't matter what you leave it set to. Alright, so now that we have all our repeaters in a row, we're going to connect them like this. All the way down. Alright. And we're going to need to put an extra repeater and knock out one of the pistons later once I connect everything. But like I said, I don't know where yet. So next we're going to, we had the farm pretty much done. So we just need our input to the circuit here. So we're going to build our bud switch. Alright, so we're going to build our bud switch. We have the block that's going to control its updating. Whoops. Right here. I didn't mean to do that. So we're going to put our sugarcane down like this. And now we have a sticky piston. A regular piston won't do. We're going to have it facing this way. Alright. We're going to put a block in front of it. And that block is going to push back and forth. We're going to dig down one in front of it. We're going to place a lit torch here. Now we're going to redstone here. And put a block here. Now we have a torch on this side of the block. And now we're going to place a block on top of this torch. Like this. Right? And now we're going to put 2 blocks like this. So we have the block the piston's pushing goes like this, and then it loops back around above the block that the piston is pushing. Now we have a piece of redstone here, and do not put a piece of redstone here on this block. Do not. We're going to have redstone dust here, and we're going to have a repeater in the middle like this, and then we're going to have redstone dust here. Okay? The repeater is very important. You can't use normal redstone. So we have our sticky piston pushing a block. We have a torch in front of it underneath. One piece of redstone here. A block here with a torch. And we have the torch giving power to this redstone here with a repeater and another thing of redstone. Okay. That should be it. Now let's test if it works. I'm going to put a torch down next to the block. Yep. That works. Alright, so that's our bud switch. Now all we have to do is connect the output of the bud switch into our farm. Excuse me, into our farm. So that's quite simple. Alright, so that's our bud switch. Now we're going to connect the output of the switch to our farm. Now the output of the bud switch, you could tap that for the output if you wanted to, or you could use this torch. Now I'm going to use the torch because it's on the ground. Now, very simple. You don't want to put any redstone here. For that reason, it's going to activate the switch. So you're going to want to put it like around like this. And this torch is actually going to power or unpower this. Now we're going to run it like so. And what we want to do, we need to put an inverter on this because we want the this power that's going to the farm to be off until the switch toggles. So have our inverter. Alright. Oops. Like that. And that's it. Okay. Now we just got to make sure that we don't need an extra repeater. With this system, I don't think I'm going to need an extra one. So, but we're going to test this switch now. Perfect. And that's how you do it. It's really not that complicated. Okay, one thing I actually very nearly forgot, but also a very important point. If you let this stuff grow, it's eventually going to grow to its top level, and then it won't activate the block detector, obviously, because it won't be growing anymore. So you need to cut this down to size as well every time the farm activates. That's no problem. All you got to do is run a second line. One line's going to the farm, and one line's going right here into this piston like that. And that will knock down this sugarcane every time the block updates, as well as activating the farm. Test to make sure. Yep. Okay. Don't forget that, because I actually forgot that and rendered the video and then said, oh crap, I gotta do it all over again. So make sure you connect this as well. Alright, so that works perfectly. I actually don't need that, I don't need to knock out one of the pistons and put an extra repeater there. That worked out very nicely. If you were to make this farm bigger, then you would need to have extra repeaters. Say if this side was twice as long, you would need to have repeaters to carry the signal down here. And the way you would do that, and the way I thought we were going to have to do it, as I mentioned earlier, is this. You remove one repeater, and then you do that. Okay, so basically it's going to carry the current into the next line, and then obviously this piston and the cane in front of it would be useless, so you could just take it out. But this worked out nicely. All right, and that's the bud switch controlling automated sugarcane farm. A couple notes: the sugarcane is not always going to fall into the collection channel. You can see we have some that got stuck on the blocks here. That happens. There's no way to fix that I know of, because the pistons don't always push them reliably into the stream, but it's going to push the vast majority of them, like 95%. And why is this wall here? Well, when this piston pushes the top piece of sugarcane, or say even if it's three high, if I just had it where there was a block here, sometimes it would fall on that block, so I put the wall here, so the cane bounces off the wall and goes back into the water. Alright, and that's our farm. I showed you how it works in action, so there's really no problem. Let's see. You can make the loot collector go as far as you want. Yeah, see? Farm just activated when that sugarcane grew. I turned my back for 1 second. Alright, so you can make the loot collector as long as you want, no problem. You would just dig down every 7 blocks and let the water flow. So eventually I'm going to connect it into my house down there. I'll probably come out right here. And why would you want an automated farm in the first place? Well, this way I could pump the sugarcane directly into my house, so if I'm doing something else and I don't really care to walk over and activate my farm every 10 minutes, well, I can walk by and say, oh, there's some sugarcane in the collector, and pick it up. And that's the whole reason. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If there's anything unclear or you need something more, just send me a PM or something, leave a comment. And again, this bud switch was originally designed by Etho. This is FallofWar's update to it using redstone. And this is Drackle, and I will see you guys next time. And if you haven't checked out my Let's Play series or my other tutorials, please do.